Well, I did a lot of the designing. Most of the pages, the search page I designed, and then from that, Josh did the rest, the submission pages.
So Brian sort of did the front end, and I did the back end, and then Greg did.
I did a lot of the day-to-day stuff,
the searching,
and a bit of the searching, getting that all working correctly.
How did that work? Are you still friends? Do you still talk to each other?
Closer than ever. Like a team.
if he asked, yes.
Sorry, got too excited there.
Oh yeah, it worked out really well. I mean, me and Josh are roommates, so I mean, if one of us would just yell at each
It's
other.
very easy to
The
communicate.
code broke. So
What did you do?
So do you have any thoughts for future enhancements of the system?
the ranking is something that could really be.
It's really the one thing that we had a hard time tackling.
Especially because, like, me and Greg both took 2 quarters of geology, but we still don't really understand 90% of the fields. I mean, we understand cleavage. Yeah. I mean, like we said, we'd have to sit down with Dr. Hirsch and really hash out, well, what's important to a rock? Is it important that it have exactly 2 cleavages, or can it have 3 or 4, or 2 or 1?
And there's another problem in there, like, with a range, do you say, like, a good match is in the middle, or is it at the boundary? And how do you generate that? And when you only have, like, a single input instead of a min and a max, how do you match that up to the
Yeah,
database?
a lot of our search fields are actually searching a range of values.
Yeah.
And then you can search a range of values on that range of values, which, figuring out exactly how that goes into the ranking becomes a very interesting problem.
I believe Dr. Perry said that doing this as getting a good efficient search was actually something that you could write a master's thesis on.
I was wondering whether it would be possible to collect or log the searches to try to figure out what would be smart indexing strategies.
Yeah, that's if we had more time, that would be. I mean, we'd obviously have to have this open to actual geologists, and they have to actually use it for a while to be able to figure out, well, what are they searching on, what's important to the user. You could do that definitely, and it wouldn't be that hard to just log, because all we do is we create a search query, so you could just save that query off to a text file or something, and collect it all. So.
Yeah.
Are you guys able to come up with a solution for the color fields?
We're working on it. It's not in there right now, but
We should have something.
yeah, we'll have something by the time we turn it in. Mainly the issue with us is not searching on it, it's displaying it to the user. Figuring out a way that it's intuitive to the user to be able to pick a color is I mean, we were thinking just have number boxes in there and just tell them to pick an RGB color and we'll display it for you. But then you have to know how RGB works, and so that won't work because not everyone knows how they work. So, and then we're like slider bar, no, that won't work because you have to know how the RGB works again. And then there's a display that has them display up, and then you can pick in there, but that involves.
Another important issue that Hirsch was aware of before the project was even started was uncertainty in terms of color. Sort of representing a sphere in the or representing a circle in the in the color palette. Sort of how do you gauge like what uncertainty versus color is?
Yeah.
So that makes it difficult as well.
Yeah.
You guys at any point, like, were you aware, did you strive to or decide not to maintain any sort of like XHTML compliance or anything like that?
I actually believe we might be compliant. I checked it before we did a bunch of stuff, and we were. IE does require that you put the doc type in there, and it is in there, because it wouldn't do stuff if it which I did not know, and I was getting really pissed at IE. But I believe that we should be pretty close, if not already. And it was on my mind, but not a major feature that we were striving for.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, okay, so.
We
I think we're
run
gonna
over a little bit here.
have to cut it off and give the other team a chance.
We don't have.
What?
Keep talking, yeah.